Welcome to the WIAT-4 Canadian video series. My name is Tina Eichstedt, Senior Product Manager at Pearson. I'm here today with Liz Gross, who is our National Manager in Canada and a school psychologist. Welcome, Liz.
Thank you.
We're here today in this episode to talk about the WIAT-4 Canadian Dyslexia Index. So let's back up a little bit, Liz, and tell me why it's important to screen for dyslexia.
Well, first of all, dyslexia affects a lot of people. Some research indicating approximately 20% of the population may have dyslexia. And given that dyslexia and reading difficulties impacts students across academic areas, it's really important to have screening practices and be proactive. So, screening early ensures that those supports are put in place and many of those negative impacts can be minimized.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Liz. What should people look for in a dyslexia screener?
Yeah, so when looking for a screener of any kind, really we want to make sure that it is brief. So we don't want to be spending a lot of time doing this. And additionally, it has to be effective at splitting your group into two groups, those that are at risk from those that are not at risk. It needs to be evidence-based and supported by reliability and validity data. And there's, of course, like a lot of different reliability and validity types out there. But in this case, one that people should really be looking for is that clinical validity, meaning the scores should be different between those that have dyslexia and those that don't. And that's very, very logical, right? But you would be surprised. There are many, so-called dyslexia screeners out there that may not have that data. So we want to make sure that we're seeking out those clinical validity studies and making sure that they have those sensitivity and specificity data that we would look for and expect in a dyslexia screener.
That's really helpful. So with that backdrop, Liz, tell us about the WIAT-4 Dyslexia Index and how it should be interpreted.
Sure. So the dyslexia index is going to be a small set of subtests from the WIAT-4 Canadian that are going to provide that clinically sensitive score in a really brief administration time. The dyslexia index is going to provide a standard score that will link to a classification descriptor that is going to indicate that level of risk for dyslexia. Now, no single score, even this score, is sufficient to diagnose dyslexia, right? We want to have that comprehensive evaluation. But if they are elevated on the dyslexia index, that is going to prompt the team to maybe consider that more comprehensive evaluation.
That's fantastic insight, Liz, as well. Thanks. So here's my final question. What would you say to someone, a professional in Canada, who's considering using the WIAT-4 Dyslexia Index?
Yeah, this can be a really great way to combat what we're seeing, those that high demand, those high caseloads. It can really streamline your assessment process and help differentiate from cases that may need that more comprehensive evaluation from those that are not at risk, right? So, and because it's included in the standard offering for WIAT-4 Canadian, it's something that you can try and see if it fits well with really no additional cost, in addition to what you would already purchase for the WIAT-4 Canadian.
That sounds great. Thank you so much, Liz, for your time and your
My
insights
pleasure.
on the Dyslexia Index for the WIAT-4 Canadian. Thanks everyone for watching, and stay tuned for another episode of the WIAT-4 Canadian video series. Have a great day.